I'm Ron Kelly, Public Information Officer for the Walton County Commission. When the Walton County Board of County Commissioners met in regular session last week, a host of important issues received attention. Commissioner Danny Glidewell noted that there's a push across the state to protect farmland from development to ensure that moving forward our grandchildren and children can enjoy the same benefits of seeing agriculture at work as we have. He introduced Dr. Nathan Pilardi from the University of Florida Extension Service. He spoke about farm conservation easements at the federal, state, and local level. He detailed common misconceptions about the practice and explored the many benefits the program provides. Walter Bowers, representing Florida Forest Service Commission, gave his agency's annual report to the commissioners. Bowers said that much of their activity went to assisting local property owners with plowing fire breaks to help prevent the spread of wildfires. That program continues to hold its own against any other program here in the county, he said. Bowers noted that control burn initiatives are going well as educational programs. His report was accepted as presented. The commissioners approved a resolution recognizing September 14th through September 20th as Forensic Science Week. The request came from the District 1 Chief Medical Examiner, Dr. Deanna Oleski, and her staff, who were on hand for the vote. Citizen John Owens discussed the county's new special magistrate quasi-judicial system and expressed concern regarding public comments during the proceedings. He asked that people be allowed to express their opinions on those issues directly to the commissioners. Owens requested an amendment or repeal of the ordinance establishing the special magistrate system. County Attorney Clay Atkinson cautioned the commissioners about making changes to the system before even receiving the first recommendation order. He said if the ask of the audience is disregard the law and turn it down because we don't like it, you're going to lose that case 100 out of 100 times in court. Atkinson details several ways in which the commission could find itself in jeopardy if it immediately began to make changes with the QJ process. He said the state law does not require the public to be able to speak in quasi-judicial proceedings. It is a purely judicial proceeding. No action was taken by the board. The commission received a request to award the bid for paid parking projects to the highest ranked firm, PCI Municipal Services, and to begin contract negotiations. The request was approved. Commissioner Chair Donna Johns said, "I'm extremely excited to see this moving forward." Local HUD Housing Director Tom Baker gave the commissioners an update on Section 8 housing in Walton County. Baker explained that HUD has experienced funding shortfalls throughout the nation, and this year the local program has again been classified as a shortfall agency. He said, "We have not had any indication they're going to come up with the money other than the fact that they've asked us to apply for additional funds, and we have done so." He explained that Congressman Jimmy Patronis has been attempting to help get the funds, but with little success so far. It's a federal grant project. He warned that this shortfall may impact rent payments as early as December of this year. We still have about 300 families on the program, but we have not even taken an application from citizens in Walton County since July of 2024. 50% of the counties in Florida are in the same situation that we're in, he said. The commission accepted his report as presented. Vice Chair Dan Curry asked for discussion on a measure regarding approval of a building department permit fee abatement. That is, a pause in collecting the fees. Chief Financial Officer Melissa Thomason explained that the building department reserves, according to statute, she said, you can carry forward no more than an average of 4 years' budget. Overall, the building department fees can be used for generating enforcement of the building code. They can be used for capital improvements, such as a building for the building department, as well as training for personnel. As you know, she said, we have just completed the construction of the new building department facility. This was done out of reserves, which is the intent. It is a self-supporting fund. Now that it is completed, there is still some funding that is remaining in those reserves that is in excess of that amount. So the initial ask right now is to just abate those fees until the reserves get down to the allowable amount per statute. The measure was approved. Parks and Recreation Director Shane Supple requested the Commission approve signing a merchant agreement and amendments with the 4UP credit card processing company. It's a new point-of-sale system, and it's used for swiping and tapping credit cards. There is no cost to the county, and the request was approved. CFO Thomason asked for approval to advertise for a public hearing to consider renewal of an ordinance providing a levy against the local hospital within Walton County, providing indigent care to increase funding and defray the uncompensated costs associated with these services. She said this was requested by Doctors Hospital. They would pay the county that assessment. The county would turn that funding over to the state, and the state would send more money back to Doctors Hospital to help them recoup those costs. The request was approved. Attorney Atkinson discussed a request by the Escambia County Board of County Commissioners to waive a 90-day notice requirement and have an effective termination date of September 30th for the 2008 interlocal agreement among the Escambia County and Walton County Board of County Commissioners, as well as the offices of the State Attorney and Public Defender, relating to the current consolidation of technology funds under a single county purchasing agent for the entire First Judicial Circuit. Atkinson explained that the idea is that it would be more efficient for each county to administer its own funds and work with court administration on a county-by-county basis. The board approved waiving the notice and terminating the agreement. Commissioner Curry asked for an update on the Grady Brown Park public restroom project, which was destroyed by fire earlier this summer. Risk Assessment Manager Cody Meyer explained that demolition activities had just been completed. Additional structural assessments are planned. Architectural designs and drawings have already been completed, and construction contracts will soon be issued. Myers estimated completion of the project to be between 50 and 120 days. Commissioner Curry led discussion regarding the relocation of the Freeport Library and the establishment of a library teen center. Library Director Katie Cerise pointed out that the facility has seen no expansion for the last 24 years. According to state metrics, the Freeport Library needs approximately 30,000 additional square feet of space to serve the current population. Recently, she said the idea of a youth-specific center was discussed, and she discovered a vacant unit at Freeport Commons Office Park. It is adjacent to the Crosspoint Ministry offices, which will soon be vacant as Crosspoint relocates to its new site. That could serve as the teen center, and the library could relocate into the current Crosspoint offices. Commissioner Curry said, "We have the facility right there. We're not buying land. We're not having to buy a building or build a building. It's there. It's ours, and I think we need to utilize it." Ms. Cerise said the Teen Library Center could be ready by late spring. Commissioner Curry motioned to use the vacant Freeport Commons unit to create a teen library center, to plan for funding for additional staff, and to relocate the library into the Cross Point suite of offices once Cross Point has moved out. All three motions passed unanimously. Regarding the former Choctaw Beach Fire Station, Commissioner Curry asked Facilities Maintenance to go in and determine what is salvageable in the building. Some of the sections of the building may need to be demolished. Commissioner Danny Glidewell suggested moving the electrical wiring, which is currently a hazard, and then evaluate any future plans. The board agreed. Discussion began pertaining to reinstating Code Compliance's authority over scenic corridor guidelines on Highway 98, paused since November of 2024. Attorney Atkinson asked the board for 30 days to give them time to update the guidelines by the end of October. Commissioner Donna Johns requested an update on the status of the Design Review Board for Scenic 30A and Old 98. Planning Department Interim Director Stephen Schoen agreed to bring back recommendations in 90 days. Finally, there was discussion regarding the hiring process for senior officials and direct reports to the board. Commissioner Johns asked about a needed written policy for those that directly report to the board. HR Director Terry Franksman agreed to work on a policy and bring it back to the commissioners in 30 days. The next meeting of the Walton County Commission will be held Tuesday, September 23rd at the South Walton Courthouse Annex on US 331 South at 1 p.m.